Well, welcome back to the Power Breakfast Show. My name is Waihiga Mwaura. When you see me here, you know that we're going to be talking about sports, and Willis Raburu will be helping me with that. But what happens when you, of course, running, swimming are some of the toughest sports in the world. But what happens when you combine them? To help us get a bit of a clearer definition, let's take a look at this video up next.
From the United States pushed back, and when they come to the finishing line, it is going to be Mario Mohamed Gomez.
Well, that's a clip from the World Triathlon Series 2015, and that's what we'll be discussing here today in studio. Of course, Willis Raburu is joining me, but many other guests. I'm joined by Mike Owora next to me, the team manager of Team TriFit. He'll be telling us who Team TriFit is. The lovely lady next to him, Shiro Wainaina, captain of the women's team. We have got Jeff Onyango, strength and sprints coach, and also Bob Ogutu, captain of the men's team. Thank you very much, lady and gentlemen, for joining us here today. Karibu sana. Raburu, also thank you for being part of this. And I certainly hope that by the end of the interview, you will
also have a title.
You'll also have a title.
Amateur TriFit.
I have no title for you. Well, Mike Owora, I guess I'll start with you. Team TriFit. Who is Team TriFit?
Basically, we like to say Team TriFit is a group of people that have come together with the sole objective of growing triathlon in Kenya. We've been at it, should I say officially, for 1 year, but in terms of ad hoc, we've been in triathlon for the last 6 years. And like I said earlier, our sole objective is to purposefully grow the sport of triathlon in Kenya. We as a country are very athletic. We have fantastic terrain and we have great climate for training. So we believe that aside from developing top, should I say, sprinters and top athletes and track runners, we can also produce people in triathlon because we believe we have the ability.
Is there and this is a sports question, a triathlon federation in Kenya? Is this a legally recognized body that's supposed to handle the sport across the country?
There is actually, they are called the Kenya Triathlon Association. Their chairman and organizing secretary is Harrison Mwangi and Crispin Onyango. Unfortunately, you know, because of the lack of understanding of the sport, the intricacies of the sport, there has been not a lot of investment towards it. So
I like how you're being diplomatic.
Yes, a lot of
I see what you're doing there.
So a lot of people have actually volunteered their time to assist the sport in its growth, and then from there there's not been, should I say, that the necessary push that you'd maybe see in athletics or you'd see in swimming and the like.
So what does triathlon entail? Like if somebody's watching and asking triathlon, what
even the word itself,
is a little bit a bit of a challenge. So maybe you can explain to us, like you said, there are many intricacies of the sport. Maybe unpackage it for us.
Triathlon is basically, we like to call ourselves confused people who got tired of doing one sport. Okay. So we decided to combine swimming, cycling, and running. In triathlon, there are very many disciplines. Just the way there is 200 meters, 100 meters, 400 meters. So in triathlon, we have the sprint distance, which is a 750-meter swim, 20-kilometer cycle, 5-kilometer run. Then you have the Olympic distance, which is 1.5-kilometer swim, 40-kilometer cycle, 10-kilometer run. And then from there, you have the half Ironman, which is 2.1-kilometer swim, 90-kilometer cycle, 21-kilometer run.
Wow.
Then you
I'm
have
tired already.
I like the Ironman, the movie. Full Ironman.
Then now there's the full Ironman, which is the mother of all, which is a 3.8-kilometer swim, 180-kilometer cycle, and 42-kilometer run. We usually like to joke with Jeff, Bob, and Shiro, and always say that we swim from our house to town, and then cycle from town to Nakuru, just past Nakuru, and then run back to Naivasha, and then we've done an Ironman.
Well, Willis, we actually have a clip of something that they did out in Watamu. If that clip can be running, and I want to talk to Shiro now and ask her what possessed you to get involved in such on their own. These sports, and I know if you watch this clip you'll understand what I mean. On their own, these sports are difficult enough, but you're combining all three of them. What was the logic behind actually getting involved in this?
I think for me, I was looking for a new challenge, and the thing is, triathlon always it builds you mentally, physically, emotionally, on all levels. So for me, I was like, I'm tired of the normal aerobics, lifting weights in the gym. So I was like, I need a new challenge. So I came across Michael and the team, and I was like, you know what, I want to join this.
You want to be a part of it?
Yeah.
How does one prepare for an event as grueling as the one that we're seeing? And this was done out in Watamu, you know the conditions at the coast, and this is the best place that they decide we can do this thing. Not in Nairobi or somewhere slightly cooler. No, let's go to coast. Where it's hot, where it's hot, humid. Preparation.
I think for us, we prepare on all levels. So strength training. So you do a lot of weights. We do a lot of running as well. We swim. So let's say you structure our workouts in different ways. So you do strength, swimming, running. So it's put in one week's program.
Okay.
So every day you're doing something and actually pushing yourself. So let's say like my normal morning workout, I'll go in the morning, go to the treadmill, run for like let's say 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and then we increase our speed there. Then you go and lift weights, and then maybe in the evening you can come back and swim, or swimming is incorporated as well.
Well, I'll be talking to Bob in just a bit, but I want to ask, looking at this clip, you see more men than ladies.
Yes.
And you're the captain of the ladies team. What is the uptake of ladies when you go and tell them, come and join this? Are they like, wow, this is what we've been waiting for, or what do they tell you?
No, I think for ladies, they think it's very hard. So for most of the times, how we have been doing is you first come in, you come and train with the team. So we do strength training. We see where your strengths are. So we look, are you able to run? Are you able to swim? So first of all, we maybe encourage you to do a team activity. So where one person will run, one person will cycle, one person will swim. So where at least you're not stretched. Then from there, after you've done your swimming, next time you want a new challenge and you'll be like, what? I want to try the whole 3 things. So I want to build on my swim, I want to build where. So we always allow you to actually do the team challenges before you actually do the full triathlon.
I would plug into the team challenge. That's better for me.
You plug into the team challenge.
Swimming.
Kiriko actually wanted me to say, she should be part of this interview, but she wanted me to say that she's very fit. I don't know what the purpose of that was. I think you need to recruit her.
That's what I was telling her.
Yes.
That's what you were telling her.
I told her, come for 1 week, because the good thing about this team is that we give you a week where you can come and challenge yourself, see whether you want to take it up. So that week is like a free week. You come, see how it is, whether you want it. We see also how committed you are.
When you say week, is it every day?
Yeah, like 5 days. You come for 5 days.
So that's how. So if someone like Kiriko joined your team traffic today, you'd start with a 5-day training.
Yes.
And if they come back the Monday after, then I guess you're good.
Yeah, because you see from there, during the 5 days, we'll be able to challenge you and see, are you good in running? Where is your weak point? We'll be able to assess all those things. What do you need to build? What is your goal? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to strengthen condition? So from there, we'll be able to help you as a team.
Okay.
So we do our own customized training for each person. Yeah.
So is the training, this I think benefits both, if I'm getting it right. I mean, so you can train, like you can join it to lose weight, say for example, moi.
Yeah.
And then you can also, in the end, go into the sportsmanship of it, right?
Yes.
That's what you're saying. So it's for both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and is there an age limit? Should you be a particular age before you start?
No, we have as young kids. We have young kids as low as even like 7, 8 coming for training, and women above 60 coming for training.
Okay. Let me get Jeff and Bob in on this conversation, and for them I'm curious to find out what sort of body do I need to be good in this, and any of you can answer to be good in this, because in Kenya you've got, let's say if I'm from the Rift Valley, I know I've got the running covered. If I'm from maybe a different region, I know at least you'd expect me to be better in swimming and that sort of thing, but now you're forcing me to be able to do all these things at the same time. So how should I look? Should I have slim legs and a big upper body, or
Johnny Bravo?
Or Johnny Bravo?
I think first you have to understand that triathlon brings about 3 sports together.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not specific as it explains where genetically you must have maybe type 2A fibers. So you can't be strong in every discipline in triathlon.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a point whereby you're a good swimmer, averagely you're a good rider, and you are a good, maybe averagely you're a good runner. So we have to incorporate a strength conditioning regime that brings all these together, the inputs of the biomotors, which is technique, power, strength, speed, and endurance. We have to bring them together as a package. That's a package to be a triathlon guy.
Okay.
So It's not going to be specific, like playing of football, you must have such a type body, or if you're a, let's say, rugby player, but we have to develop you as a package to be able to be a good triathlon.
Do you prefer athletes who are very, very strong in one? And I think we can continue looking at some of those clips. We actually do have another one of a triathlon that took place in New Zealand, I believe, last week.
Yes.
Do you prefer someone who's very strong in one and then average in the others? Or are you looking for someone who's generally just average in everything? Who's the better triathlon athlete?
Generally better in everything. We call
So you don't need Rudisha?
training. You don't need Rudisha. Rudisha is going to blast it off in the runs. But at the end of the day, swimming is there. Cycling is there.
My director is saying you only need Raburu.
Yeah, you only just need me to swim. Once I jump in, the water leaves, we win.
In Kenya, we're generally predisposed to athletics. We've got some football talent, a little less swimming. How are we when it comes to triathlon? Would you say that across Africa we are some of the best, or could we do with more work in terms of how naturally we are predisposed to this sport?
I think in Africa, based on our body structures, and we are the best. It's only that we don't have the structures and the equipment to take it to a different level. Yeah. But if you look at the African body composition, let's say from West Africa right to East, South and North, we do have good guys who can be good athletes, good triathlon guys. But we need to have structures down. We need to have plan and progress them to a different level. Yeah. We do have the body. We have everything.
Bob, if we're the best in Africa, how come I don't see us in New Zealand at the World Triathlon Series? How come we don't see us internationally?
We're getting there. We're getting there. It's just a matter of time, and then we'll be there and we'll be performing.
What like I was going to ask, what is a daily, like if you go, like she talked about the treadmill and stuff, but what are we looking at when you say we're training, and for how long are we doing it? Does it increase towards the day of the event, or is it something that becomes part of your lifestyle? What are you aiming to do for you to be
to be an athlete? Let's start to be an athlete. You start with something we have to do assessments. First, we have to check genetically, are you well taken care of to be.
How do you do that? Is there a machine? Do you look with your eyes? How do you?
Okay, a good strength and conditioning coach should have the scientific guidance. To know who is a good sprinter, who is a good swimmer, who is a good cyclist, who is a good rugby player. But you don't have to go there with a fixed-minded science or whatever, but it has to be open-minded. You have to think out of the box, because you might lose on a good sprinter or a good swimmer because you're using a scientific analysis. Yeah. So we start from there. Like if you want to have a good sprinter, you have to know the body type you're looking for. To have a good sprinter, short 200 meters, most of the guys, good sprinters, their heels don't touch down as such when they're walking naturally. Yeah.
Sorry, say it again.
Yeah, like when you're looking for a good sprinter, 200 meters, 100 meters guys, their heels don't make that ground contact
when they're walking
naturally as such. So, but if you're going to look,
that locks two of us already.
But if you're going to use that scientific side of it to get a good sprinter, you might also lose on a good sprinter who has a ground contact, but because of the science, you're going to leave him out. So you have to go into it with an open mind, think out of the box, try him, test him, then bring him to assessment. Okay, we have to do assessments. We have some small muscles but powerful. You have to assess them if they're working, if they can coordinate and make him push.
What is my motivation to get involved in this sport? When I join athletics, I'm looking to run in London.
And to be that guy.
For example. If I join other sports, there's potential for trips and that sort of thing. What is the motivation in the triathlon in Kenya? Are there opportunities? Is there room for growth? Michael?
I think there's a lot of room for growth in the sport of triathlon. I like to, if we look at a country like South Africa, Richard Murray, who actually just won the New Zealand triathlon, is born and raised in Africa, despite his skin color, and he's purely African, and he always says he's African. So I think there's a lot of opportunities. It's just upon us to harness them. If we look at countries, again, if you go back to South Africa, they host the World Triathlon Series in Cape Town. They host the Ironman, 2 Ironman races, actually the Africa Ironman World Championships, and then they host a smaller race in East London, which is part of the Ironman circuit. And on average, they have at least 2,000 to 2,500 participants every year. If they're going low, it's maybe 1,800, and that's a bad year.
2,000 from SA or from around the world?
From across the world. You see, South Africa, I think 10 years ago, took it upon themselves to use this as a sports marketing initiative for the country.
I like that.
So what they did is that they invested heavily in the sport of triathlon. When you go to Port Elizabeth, where they host the Africa World Championships, the town literally closes down for that weekend. So they close 90 kilometers of roads, because that's mandatory. They actually tell you, because we have pitched as Team Trifid to host an Ironman championship in Kenya, and they tell you have to close road 90 kilometers, standard procedure, for at least 2 days.
And good road at that.
And good road. South Africa were like, only, okay. They invested and they moved forward.
That in Kenya, that's unused.
And when we look at, and when I spoke to the team in South Africa from the World Triathlon Series Ironman, they said from the 3 races, every year they pump into the economy 730 million rand. That's 7 billion shillings. So when you look at now the opportunities that can flow through that, I mean, the sport of triathlon is 3 disciplines. So the opportunity is just, let's say, for somebody who is a swimmer, and then somebody who is in business for swimming. So you have somebody who will buy your swimming goggles, your swimming trunks, your flippers, your training gear. Then you come to cycling. You have to buy your bicycle, your cycling shoes, your helmet, your water bottles and everything. You come to running, you have to buy your shoes, you have to buy your running shorts, you have to buy then the ripple effect, your electrolytes, you have to go for physio.
Very expensive.
It's not very expensive. Actually, the costs are spread out.
Okay.
That's the good thing.
Okay.
But when you're going into it, especially professionally, because that's why we're trying to take people like Bob, we want to develop him into a professional triathlete and now hopefully go and represent Kenya across the world in the World Triathlon Series. It's an investment. There are people who do triathlon for fun, and locally you will find them. But what we like to say is that there are so many opportunities and we have so many strong riders, or we have many strong runners. It's just that we maybe come from a fear mentality that this is very hard.
Yes.
But what you're trying to
understand where that would be coming from.
What you try and do with Trifid is, as Shiro was saying, is first come for that 1 week. Let's demystify the sport for you. A lot of us Africans are predisposed to the fact that we can't swim. We are land animals. That's what I
true?
hear. No,
those are the perceptions you get when you
yes. Immediately I tell people I'm a triathlon coach, they tell me the first thing is that I can't swim.
So they're okay with the running?
They're okay with the running.
They're no problem with cycling?
The cycling. Most of them went to buy bread and milk with their bicycles when they were
But most
children.
of them also, like from where I come from, took showers in the rainy water.
You know, there's a very big difference between showering and then being told to swim
across
up and come back.
Yes. That's right.
And so what we try and do is, what we're really trying to do right now is demystify the sport and create now not just opportunities for people to become athletes, because but we also want to create business opportunities, not just for people who sell bicycles or Nairobi Sports House or Asics and Nike, but also for any individual who can provide services for triathlon, and then from there also now impact the economy. We've been talking with the Kenya Tourist Board and now begin to position Kenya. Actually, South Africa, I can say candidly on camera, South Africa has said that they are scared if Africa was to host Kenya is to host an Ironman or lobby for the World Triathlon Series, because we are one of their biggest competitors in terms of tourism, and Kenya is primed ideally for high altitude training. So
there's a great opportunity.
There's a great opportunity.
We're getting some SMSs here. Of course, the hashtag is Power Breakfast. You can talk to us on that on Twitter, and Roburu will be taking us through that. But someone is asking here, Irene from Kisumu, what if I don't know how to ride? Will you teach me?
Yes. Actually, Bob, who is our strongest rider in the group and our team captain, will sit down with Irene. We'll give her tutorials. We walk with her step by step. First, how to buy a bicycle, what is needed in a bicycle, the safety precautions. Then from there, walk with her in terms of riding. We start first in an enclosed area. Then from there, go to a larger area. Then now start maybe cycling on the roads. We focus to roads that don't have a lot of vehicle traffic. And then now incorporate her into small races. People like Shiro, who I think in October had never really ridden a bicycle. She did her first cycle. It's called Highway to Heaven, and it was 30 kilometers of pure hill in Limuru to Romi hills, and she finished
30 kilometers.
30 kilometers of pure hill.
She didn't walk at any point.
She didn't walk. So we had another lady in the team. She's called Sharon Makubu. She's actually a lawyer. So we have people from different disciplines. We have Esther Waititu from CFC Stanbic. She's the head of transactional banking. So it's not a sport should I say, like Jeff is saying, predisposed to, you have to be super athletic.
Yes.
If our team was allowed to actually come here and you see the people here, your 9 to 5 people. The people that we train are your 9 to 5 people.
Next time we might do like a mini triathlon outside.
Yes.
See how it actually looks.
We can actually, based on that, we have one coming up in 1st of May, and every month, as part of our objectives to grow the sport, every month at Kasarani we host what we call the mini triathlon, where the team competes as individuals, but we also try and bring in other people from across the country, just for them to understand the sport and then do team challenges. In fact, like Shiro was saying, we encourage people to do team challenges, and then so you swim, Raburu will run,
The other way
cycle.
Okay.
And then now you begin to say, I think I can now, next time in the team challenge, let's go 2 people. I can do, Wahiga can do the swim and cycle, and then Raburu the run, and then from there you start becoming, because triathlon is addictive. It's actually very addictive.
Let me ask you, like you said, there's a lot of opportunities, and you know, South Africa is scared. So what can be done in your view to take this and have, you call them triathletes? Yes. What can be done to like grow the sport and take it to the next level?
I think primarily, and you'll allow me to use the benchmark of South Africa, is we need, number one, government support. We need public and private organizations support. A lot of organizations maybe will run to athletics because they believe that there are numbers there.
Yes.
When triathlon was starting in South Africa, I was actually in university, and the one organization that sponsored the first Ironman was Specsavers, the equivalent of Optica. A lot of people were questioning why would Optica sponsor such an event. But the ripple effect for Specsavers going forward, they made sales to the tune of 200 million rand.
So there are opportunities.
There are opportunities. So we just need corporate organizations, we need public, government to come in and enhance first the facilities, which was part of the government manifesto.
But maybe they're asking, you know, the triathlon sounds a very Nairobi-centric event. Is it out there in the counties? What would you say to them? So someone sitting and thinking, looks interesting, but I want something that will get me out in the counties. Yes. Is this the event for that? Actually,
this is the perfect event. So like I was sharing with you earlier and the team, our objective this year is actually to take triathlon out of Nairobi and Mombasa. It has been centric on Nairobi and Mombasa. So we've created one race in Kericho. So we are trying to pull those particular runners, those ones for that guy.
Yes,
we want to pull, that guy. We want to pull them, and then we've created one in Nyeri, because Nyeri, in terms of high altitude training, is almost second to Eldoret. So that's where we want to pull people, and then from there now go to other. We're sourcing for other opportunities in Baringo, in Kisumu, and try and create a national circuit, and then partner with the Kenya Triathlon Association and hopefully make that part of the national trials, so that when we're choosing a team for Olympics, it's basically cut and paste. You have your rankings, you have everything. So part of Team Trifit's objective is just to create a platform for the sport to grow in such a way that even the association looks to the team and other partners to help grow the sport.
Are we, by any chance, is there any chance rather that we can go to the Olympics?
I think if you would allow me to answer honestly, I don't, at this point in time, no.
We're locked out.
No, I don't think we have. I don't think the athletes such as Bob, maybe Swale Balala in Mombasa, unfortunately he got an injury, so I know he's healing. There's Mohammed Suleiman. There are a few athletes, but if we look at international standards where people are coming out of a 1.5 kilometer swim in 17 minutes, doing a 40-kilometer cycle in 50 minutes.
50 minutes?
Yes, in 50 minutes. So
a 70-kilometer cycle? 40
kilometer.
Wow.
So I think we still have
like a kilometer a minute. Sorry for interrupting you.
About.
Almost.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So I think we still have a lot to develop our athletes, but there's so much potential. If I look at some of the athletes in Mombasa, they've grown so much. If I look at people in Eldoret, they've grown so much, but what you need to do is now invest in them and tell them that, okay, this is your sport, this is your opportunity, now go forward.
Who's the most accomplished triathlon athlete in Kenya?
triathlete. I think right now I would give it to two people.
Okay.
I'll give it to Swale Balala from Mombasa. He has done a lot to grow the sport in terms of growing the exposure. He's represented the country in the Commonwealth Games, which is no easy task. And even when he went there himself, he was like, there's a lot that we need to do. He's gone for training camps in Egypt, so there's a lot that he's done. And then the other gentleman is Falgun Bojak, who we call the grandfather of triathlon.
I've known him, yes.
Yeah, and he's now one of the few Kenyans, I think if not one of the 4 or 5 Kenyans who've done the full Ironman distance. Not just once, not just twice, but 3 times.
Wow.
So there are people who, and I know that there are other people maybe who, as hopefully after this interview, will start coming out of the woodwork and they start sharing that they've done an Ironman and they've done this and how can we train, and we just want to encourage them that you necessarily don't have to train with TriFit, but if you can start spreading the word that you're a triathlete, I think that's how the sport can start growing.
Good. I don't know if you have anything on Twitter. Let me quickly read what I have on 22422. Triza, you don't tell us where you're texting in from. The best coaches ever. They're all amazing. I'm proud to be in your team, guys. So I hope you know who that is. Frank Raudo says, hello, I've seen you guys train and I can attest to the fact that these guys train hard daily. Only if the public and private sectors could chip in to this great cause. Someone else here, they don't give us their name, but they're asking, I'm a strong sprinter and I can ride quite well, but I can't swim. Can I be taught? And if yes, where can I join you guys? And another lady called Esther from Umoja is asking how can they contact you? Do you have Facebook, email? Just give those out.
We're actually on Facebook, we're actually on Twitter, we're actually on Instagram.
What name?
Just look for Team TriFit.
Okay.
On Facebook and Instagram, and then on Twitter it's Team TriFit KE. So you can drop us a private message. I don't know if I'm allowed to give my number on air.
I think the email.
And then you can drop us an email.
There might be some ladies watching. I'm just watching out for you, bro.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll take that as a positive compliment. And then teamtrifitke@gmail.com.
Okay.
And then you can just drop us an email with your number, and we'll call you back immediately after this interview, and we'll see how we can help you, especially the guy who wants to swim or the lady from Umoja who wants to get into this. We're very passionate.
Okay.
And what we always say is Raburu and Kirigo, when you decide to join us next week for the free week of testing, we will build you. You don't have to be a super athlete. I have seen a man who has had a double bypass surgery.
Really?
And finished an Ironman. If you Google today, Jeff, I remember we were with Jeff last week and we saw the mayor of Hawaii finish the Kona Ironman triathlon. That's the World Championships. Remember this heat wave that we're going through?
Yes.
Now picture doing a triathlon in that.
The so-called equinox.
Yes, that equinox. So there's a lot. And he was bigger than Raburu.
Imagine.
Wow. Yes, imagine.
Bigger brain, I hope that's what you mean. Okay. I'll take some feedback here. There's someone called Rockstar says he likes the show and likes, and he thinks that he'll be switching to it now. Then we have at at Andrew Miricho, or at Miricho_Andrew, says, I like the sport, I look forward to joining the team. So Miskia, when the team TriFit on all social media platforms, and drop them a private message, and then you can go ahead and see what they're talking about over there. So yeah.
Well, that's what we had time for, but I know the band will continue to serenade us to the top of the hour, but we leave you with some pictures of what it takes, or what a triathlon looks like. Enjoy.
Ferguson from the United States looks back and they come to the finishing line, and it's going to be Miriam Mohamed Gomez.
USA, listen here. Liam from France. Through they go. Good job.